When I get smart people like yourself on the show, I like to role play a little bit. And I'm going to go back into the CIO role. You guys are going to be CTOs. And what we're going to first talk about is how I should be thinking about this, right? What are some aspects I should be looking at? So I have too much variability in my data center. I still have too many systems, too much software. I have some challenges I need to deal with. I need to deal with 21st century cures, API management, those kinds of things. I've got to think through architecture. Am I going to be utilizing cloud or not utilizing cloud? I got capital expenses, operating expenses. If I'm making you dizzy yet, I've got to be able to leverage all these new technologies. I got to, NLP, AI, machine learning. I've got to make better connections to my consumers and be able to build platforms and those kind of things. All right, so those are all the things from a CIO perspective that I'm thinking about. And that's only half of what I'm thinking about during a pandemic, but those are the things I'm thinking about. This is an opportunity, right? You're giving me platform independence. You're giving me flexibility. I can now, consolidate? Am I going to be able to consolidate around certain platforms? Am I going to be able to reduce costs? What am I going to be able to do? I'm the CIO asking you two, my CTO, so you could both formulate an answer to that of how should I be doing this and what is the opportunity for us?
Honestly, I think it's looking at what is your technical team skill set, right? What is my technical team skill set? What platform can they manage better? And what is my current data center hardware? And
so you're probably gonna assume it's VMware, since 98% of my systems are going to be running on VMware at this point. So I want that to be a platform. But the hardware itself, I can really go in any direction at this point, can't I?
You can. I think it also, part of the hardware is what's my compute, what's my storage, what's my network. Have I standardized on Cisco UCS? Am I running Fabric interconnects? And can I go buy a Cisco, 4-socket solution that's going to suffice for the operational database that I can manage the same exact way, besides minor specifics around locking down the system for access for my operational database that I can for the rest of my Epic and clinical application infrastructure. I think the biggest part of all that is coming up with a cost model. So most organizations, if you were to ask me to come back to you and say, hey, Bill, my CIO asked me to price this out for 3 years, the first thing I'm going to do is not just look at the hardware pricing, but figure out what the soft costs are, find out what the licensing prices are, depending on what platform I'm running, figure out VMware licensing, right? Figure out Red Hat licensing, figure out support for 3 years, and then extend that out to 5 years and figure out, based off what you as a CIO is telling me, if we're going to onboard any additional users, if we're going to go live with new clinics or acquire any hospitals, to come back to you with a TCO and say, hey, here is the actual, if we were to onboard 1,000 users or 5,000 users after going through a migration, based off whichever platform we're selecting, I can give you a cost for the next 3 to 5 years, including a refresh and adding an additional capacity based off number of users, and hopefully project that out to 10 years. Another part of it is skill set. This is a very good opportunity for me to come to you and say, hey, look, we're short-staffed, right? We're doing a lot with very little people, and we need to sharpen our skill set a little bit. Let's send some of the Epic support staff to training, not just for VMware, but go to Epic training, go to VMware training, figure out if you're changing platforms. Like Josh mentioned, is this a good time to implement Ansible? Is that a skill set that we should learn to expand out beyond just the operational database to our other Red Hat servers? Consolidation-wise, platform consolidation, right? When am I refreshing my hardware for my operational database? When am I refreshing my hardware for Hyperspace and Citrix and VMware Horizon? When am I refreshing my hardware for everything else application server-wise? Can I get into a predictable refresh model where I can come to you and say, here's the cost for updating 33% of my clinical application infrastructure hardware, including Epic, every year, to make that a palatable cost? Or are we going to get stuck in this format where I knock on your door every 3 years and say, hey, we got to do a hardware refresh. We have 2 months, we're out of capacity. I need X amount of dollars and we need to do it in the next 3 months.